Brian, the host, to record. You have to
Yeah, I
say
did.
record. Is it recording? Okay, it's recording. All right, so here's the so welcome to Shadow Coders, everyone. If you're confused about what is different, so first of all kinds of weird things. We're usually in person in the SEH building, the Science and Engineering Hall, but we're still iced over in DC, so we're doing it all remote today. Um, But we were going to do it over Zoom anyway today because what our plan was today. Normally, this group gets together and we just have someone share something cool they're working on with code. And a lot lately, that's been a lot of AI related stuff, lots of cool things happening there. So, for people who have never joined this before, that's our usual MO. Like, we get together, showcase something cool, um, and then we talk about it, right? We record these, we post them on YouTube, we have lots of prior videos. This week, this is our first one of the semester, and what I wanted to try to do was something of a modern John Henry style competition. So if you don't know the legend, John Henry was a what would you call him? He built railroads, okay, by hand. He drove stakes by hand with a hammer. And then we got machines that started doing this. This was like what, 1800s or something. And so it was him versus the machine. And legend goes that he actually beat the machine. Like he was able to drive stakes faster than the machine and but he ended up dying because he was so exhausted from beating the machine that he died later. Anyway, Urban, I don't know if that's a real legend or not. There's a Wikipedia page about it, but nonetheless, today, so I'm John, and I'm going to be writing code by hand. So no AI tools, nothing. And our task is we have three other students. I'll go around and have you guys introduce yourselves, but three GW students who can use any tool they want. So they can use any AI tool, anything that they can have access to. And our goal is we're going to be making a data visualization using the GW Data Viz challenge. So we have a challenge, um, not a challenge, a competition from GW about making a data visualization. And the goal was, I'm going to see if I can find it, the actual page, and we can put this in the chat as well for folks. Um, Let me put this in the chat. Well, here. There is a chat, but it says host and panelists. Oh, I want to change the settings so anybody can chat, but it doesn't look like I've got that on either. I don't know. That only went to host and panelists, I think. Let me just share my screen then so
Yeah.
you guys can see it. Here, how about this? So this is the DataViz competition this year. So they're exploring sustainability. There's this Loop clothing exchange data set. Um, and it is this. Well, that's actually downloading it. So what it is I actually already downloaded it on my machine. It's like this Excel sheet and it has data on um I think it's like my understanding is this is donations to clothing donations, right? So we have different types of clothing. We have who donated it, what time, right? What time and what day. Actually down to the minute or down to the second. Wow, very precise. And there's some other information about like, did you bring a donation with you? Yes or no? I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, so
And there was an
y-
experience rating. Go ahead.
it's slightly different. I'm pretty certain the values for each of the items is what you took with you, and then whether or not you brought something
Oh,
also.
okay, okay. So this is what people took. See, I should have read the README. There's a README that describes the data dictionary. Timestamp demographics, tops, counts the number of tops taken. Yeah, so these are just numbers of things. And then there was accessories. That was like anything else, like jewelry and scarves and such. Um, okay, so this is stuff that people took, right? So I haven't looked at this at all. Um, and this is the data set, right? So the competition is a real competition. Data visualizations are due this coming Monday, February 2nd. So we were just thought it would be really fun and interesting to see like how much of this data set can I explore in an hour without AI tools, just writing code like the old school way, versus students who have worked. All of these students have taken my classes on data visualization, so they know how to do some of this stuff already, but they also have access to AI. And we're going to see how much you can cover, and at the end, maybe we'll all submit. We don't have to, but I think it'd be fun if all of us would submit our actual visualizations to see if an independent panel can judge them and see if one wins. Um, so this is not a normal thing for GW coders. This is not something we typically do, but I'm doing it early now because I want to talk about this at our OSCON in March, right? So I'm really curious to see how this turns out, like look at the results. And it's more than just the one chart. I'm really curious to see how you're using tools and are you able to create more charts or like explore the data more systematically if if you have AI tools or not. Because there's only so much I'm going to be able to do in 1 hour without those tools. So that's the idea. And we have our host, Ryan, who hopefully can just go around. Can you like turn on screen sharing for somebody? If they're, can you say, hey, I'm going to show John's screen now? Or do I have
Um,
to manually do it?
I think you have to manually do it. I don't see any place where I can
Okay. We
pop
probably
people's
could have just done
screens.
this in a normal Zoom room. I set it up as a webinar because apparently you can have like more than one screen at once in a webinar setting. That's what I was hoping for, but
But
I
why
don't know
don't
if we
we try
can.
it to get started? Why don't you share
Yeah.
your screen
Yeah.
and Pingfan try sharing your screen and let's see what
Yeah,
happens.
I'll share mine and then yeah, Pingfan, why don't you try sharing yours, see if we can get more than one up. If not, we will learn. Does it allow
Oh,
you?
yeah. I can request, then I send the request.
Multiple presenters can share.
Okay,
We'll get there.
then I share. I just
So,
share my desktop.
yeah.
How about, I can share my, okay, position. How about this? Right? Can
Okay, I
everyone
see
see my screen?
yours, but now I don't
Okay.
see JP's. Let me
So it's only one
see.
at a time. But that's fine because it's hard to make sense of any. I think it might make more sense to also just call on people. You could just say, okay, Ping Fan, what are you up to? And then you can share your screen and just keep working and talk through
Yeah.
what you're working on. And so otherwise, the recording of this video is going to be really weird. It's just going to be us just staring at a machine and typing, and no one's going to know what we're doing. Um, so we'll get started in a minute. I do want to have others introduce themselves. So Ping Fan, why don't you go ahead and say who you are and
Okay. Okay. So hello everyone. My name is Pingfan. Pingfan who? So Pingfan sound like ping pong. And I am sorry. I am a fourth
Mhm.
year PhD student of advised by Professor John Hobson, who is the host today. And so I'm graduating soon. Like later this year, I'll become like Doctor Who. Okay, so my main job is to do data science in sustainable transportation. I also do open source um, software development. So I won't say I am proficient or experienced in coding because right now I've been largely using Claude Code or other LLMs to do vibe coding. So kind of a mixed. So I hand type some basic code, and I also largely use AI tools to help with the coding and setup. So I would say today I will be a experienced AI tool user who competes with Professor Halverson and see like who can win at last. Okay, so that's the basic information of myself. Nice to meet you guys.
All right. Let's do Nithin. You want to say hi?
Yeah. Hey everyone. My name is Nithin. Hi. So I'm a master student in doing data analytics at George Washington University. And previous semester I worked with Professor Ilveston as a graduate research assistant, and it's been like an amazing time with him. Like I've learned so many things and how to deal with R and how to deal with the data. And he gave me a different perspective to look after the data and how you understand the data. And present, I'm working in healthcare department at Center of Global Mental Health Equity as a research specialist three. And yeah, excited to for the today's meeting. Yeah, thank you.
And can you share your screen as well? Um, for my view, at least, I'm seeing them as tabs now. I have a webinar tab, which is JP's,
All
and then I see Ping screen, and I'm hoping that when Nathan puts, then we'll have another tab along the top. We'll see.
right. And then while we're doing that, Eric, you want to say hi?
Yeah, hey guys, how's it going? So Dr. Halverson said, so my name's Eric. I'm a third year undergraduate systems engineering and statistics student. Um, once I get out of here or graduate my program, I do plan on attending grad school. But in the meantime, I'll be working mostly in naval engineering. And so what I really plan on doing and what I really like out of these coding type classes is learning about statistics and machine learning and seeing how I could get that implemented into better engineering practices for naval engineering, so building ships and ship sustainment out at sea.
Cool. All right.
Great. And if you can share your screen as well, everyone should now see multiple tabs along the top of their Zoom window, I
Oh,
believe.
I stopped sharing. Do I need to share again or?
I think yeah, try sharing again and let's see if you come back. Yep. Now I have
So,
the main webinar and 4 screens that I can go back and forth
all
between.
right. So good, good. It's working. Okay.
Yeah, so everyone should be able to, well, I think you'll be able to choose which ones you want to watch. Um,
Oh, so people who are in the webinar can self-select whatever you want to see if you want to
I
watch
believe
us.
so. And
I
then I
do
think the
think,
recording will be whatever I'm watching.
do you
Is
have to
my
pay for credits for Claude Code? No free tier. Yeah, I think Claude Code, it's you either have to be a subscriber to Claude Code, like to Claude in general, like the Claude Pro or whatever, or you can have API access and pay per usage. But I just have it as a Claude subscriber and it comes with it. Um,
Gemini code is free. They have the same thing. It's called Gemini CLI, command line
yeah,
interface. And how they do it is it's free with their best model for like the first million tokens. And then
yeah,
after that, you drop to the second level model, third level model. So the more you use, the more they curtail you to lower
yeah.
models. But
It's a
it's free to
soft,
start. Yeah.
yeah. So soft decline of quality. So I normally, when I start a project, I would go over here and type Claude. I'm not going to be able to do that, so I'm just going to start. Ryan, I don't know what best to do and say. I think it's kind of a weird case. But I will say maybe you can start with me. Like, okay, so one thing I'm going to show you if you're looking at my screen
Okay. Well, I guess
is
the competitors
everyone
should
can,
all start.
yeah,
Pingfan,
everyone just
Eric,
start
Nithin.
start start writing code.
We'll jump
So
around and
I'm
come
not
visit you.
using AI, but if you looked at what I just did, like I'm using other tools that I have built in where I can just put in some common things that I often uh, need. And so I just none of this is AI. It's just keyboard settings and keyboard shortcuts and things. And so I'm gonna start by just getting the data. I need to read Excel. It's in this data folder. I've already set this up, so for me, I don't have to spend time, um, you know, working to get it in. So I've already got my data up. Now this looks horrific because it's an Excel sheet. Wonderful. Thanks, people, for putting this in Excel. No offense to the people who organized this competition. I mean, yes, it's nice because you have something of a description on the first page, so that's useful, but we already have a separate README. If this was a CSV, it'd be a lot nicer. Nonetheless, here we are. So looks like we've got a good header. I think I just need to tell it that the sheet is this, and it will get it. And this is where you lose time. I mean, you just lose so much time with the tedium of getting things into shape. Um, whereas
Let's
an
jump
AI
over to
tool
you, Pingfan,
will
and
do
see
this
what
really
you're up
quick.
to at this point in your. So here we are. I'm on Pingfan's screen now. So he's.
Yeah, well, I actually I have a basic question. Like, what are we supposed to do? Like, what achievements do we want to
Make a
make?
chart. Make it any best data visualization you can come up
Ah, I
with
see, I see.
is
Yeah,
the idea.
sorry. Cool, cool, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
So for
guess you can
me,
feel free to ask Claude to determine what is the best tool if you want. You don't
Data.
have to make that
yeah,
choice where JP has to decide himself.
Yeah, I have to decide everything.
yeah.
Um,
Okay, so Claude's already written 37 lines of code for Pingfan, it looks like.
Yeah, it's gonna be slow going, guys.
Okay, so he started with creating a Claude MD file, which for those who haven't used Claude, and this is the same for Gemini or for OpenAI Codex, you create a file that tells it the parameters of what you want it to do. So you give it an overview, you tell it like you want it in Python code, R code, you want it. I believe you can set here, like if you want any linting done or any code cleanup at the end as well. And now he's going to be asking it to go ahead and bring in the data file. It'll be interesting to see if Claude figures out that the one tab is basically the README of it, and then the other tab is the data. I don't think it'll have trouble with that.
I mean, I'm already plotting. So
Okay,
Yeah,
we'll
and
it's
jump
I'm
back
trying to
to
do the
interesting.
see
Like
what
setup.
JP's
I
up to.
like
We
the
can see
setup is
JP's
longer
screen.
for LLM tools, but then like once you get going, it can probably make like 100 charts. So I'm writing my first chart. We'll see how long it takes.
Yeah, I see you have ggplot there.
Yeah, I already
Good help.
got us going here. We'll take a little column chart. Let's make the X. Sorry, the X is gonna be val, and let's make the Y type. Let's just see what we get.
We'll jump
Oh
over to you
boy.
next, Eric, to see where you are. Tell me when you're ready. Ooh, you have a bar chart.
Yeah. Um,
I don't think
Yeah,
you're going to win the competition with that, though, JP.
I don't think this is gonna do it.
Okay, let's jump over and see what Eric is up to. I'll go to Eric's tab. If people want to follow
yeah,
along with me.
I haven't gotten too far. At first, I was being hard-headed and was going to brute force it, but I'm like, why am I doing this? I can just have,
Do
my
it.
AI tool of choice do all of it. So,
Wow.
And what is the AI tool you're using? You
so I
recommended.
have the pro version of ChatGPT, which is given through the university.
Oh, okay.
It's all right. I mean, it's
And
a
you're
lot of
using
people
it
took
through our
comps.
studio?
Oh, no, no, no. I've got two windows. I always have a coding window and then my tools window.
Ah, okay, I
So
see.
here's my tool. Um,
And then you're doing the copy and paste method over for
correct.
something. Okay. Actually, what I've been doing is I've been using Claude to write the base code, which is in some of my projects, as I talked about in the fall, I have like 30, 40 pages of instructions, and then it writes for 15, 20 minutes. But then to understand the code, I move to ChatGPT and do the copy paste method so that I understand what happens in each of the files. Whereas if you let Claude, you never end up investigating your own code, which I found problematic for understanding what was happening. So I like this method too.
So we're gonna make that thing. Then I can here. All right, I got a bar chart. I can tell you that people, I'm going to read this again. It looks like they're taking stuff, individual level visit data, exchange program, single customer visit, detailing the items they took, their demographic information, experience, and whether they made a donation. All right. So this is what people took. People mostly took tops and pants, not surprising. All right, that's not going to win a competition. We have a lot more to go with.
Okay, we're going to jump over to you in a minute, Nithin, just to let you know to see what you're up to, if that's okay.
Whoa, accidentally started
Sure, sure.
Apple Music. Turn that off.
Okay,
My
let's jump
cloud is
over.
still doing the planning.
Okay, let's go over and see Nithin's screen.
So
Okay, here we
let's
go.
take
Who's
this.
also using Claude Code. Oh, you're using it in Cursor. So for those watching who aren't familiar with Cursor, I believe it was JP that got started using Cursor, first person
Yeah.
I know, and it is it's its own IDE, but it has built-ins for Claude. And I think you can use others within it, but it's really built for Claude, is my understanding. I haven't used it, but it's built off of VS Code. So if you use VS Code, it should look very familiar. They took it and then enhanced it for this purpose. And they're doing really well, is my understanding. A lot of people are using it.
Yeah, I think I kind of spotted it early as like, oh, this is going to be a thing, and it's very much become very popular. And
Okay, so it looks like with Nathan's, yeah, so it has explored the data set, it looks like. It's reading the files and understanding the context.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it's written anything yet, but
No, I haven't.
it
Yeah.
only takes a second to write it anyway. So getting prepared to write is the important part with these tools.
oh my goodness, what am I missing here?
Okay, let's jump over and see how Pingfan is doing. We'll go back to his screen.
I
Yeah.
got to do this again.
Oh, he has
Right.
data visualization going,
Yeah.
everyone.
Right now I'm in a pause point, so that I can take time to explain. So my workflow is that like right now I think I only work for maybe 5 to 10 minutes. I can't tell. So my workflow is that I firstly used um init is a command in Claude so that as I run it, I can run it again. So as I run it, Claude will just read through everything that is under the my directory so that it knows that like what the directory is about, what is the project is about, like what project structure I have. And then I can manually trigger it several times to make it update with what we have right now. So right now it's running so that I would say the project structure, see, it changes. So right now you can read that right now I have a directory called code with where the R script lives, and then the data, which includes both the raw data and also the processed data and also the README, and then the plots. So I instructed Claude to create three plots for me. So you can see from above my instructions. Here, I said, great, now we have a basic understanding of this project. Now we have a code directory and a data directory. And this Excel file contains data of consumer interacting with the clothing exchange shop in the school. So now I want to create a nicely formatted plot. I said one nicely formatted plot, which is wrong because I said I want three. But like Claude understands this, that visualizes the Excel file. So before we do anything, please suggest me with three options of the plots. One, what is the format, a bar chart, a line chart, etc. Two, what is the content, summarizing or showing everything. Three, any other things you can think of. Then now I said, now suggest me. So Claude will read whatever I provide to it, including the thing, while also containing the things I might not have provided. Then it suggests me with three options. One is the seasonal item trends, and with the format, with the content, why interesting. Option two, demographics times item preferences. Same thing, format, content, why interesting. Option three, donation behavior dashboard. So then I just said, well, I like to do all three. Now please create an R code script on the code, reading data from the Excel sheet and output into plots. So that's why I have three folders, code, data, and plots. And then it just did everything for me. So starting from here, I would say that I'm way ahead of Professor Hofstone.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if we have a solid line, for example, a solid thing that we really want to achieve, this is when I need to tailor and scale down because all these plots are way too inclusive. It's just too much. This is the thing that AI tends to do. It tends to give you like everything. So it's just for showcase purposes. Well, this is the thing that AI can do. Well, it's a good showcase. But say that if I'm working for a company or a research team that I want to explicitly showcase something, well, this is too overwhelming. Nobody can easily take away anything from all these plots. It's just too much for humans to read. So right now, I am approaching a state where I might be caught up by Professor Halverson, and because he's purifying his plot, and I need to do subtraction and so take things that I think are unnecessary.
These
Okay,
things.
so that's the end of my explanation, and I decide to move on. Yeah.
Great. Well, I think
Uh,
so. I followed the blog. Um, I forget his name now, professor out of Penn. But he writes a lot about AI, and his
oh
blog
yeah, I
just
know
the
him.
other day was Ethan Molek. That's who it is.
Yeah, Ethan's stuff. Yeah.
He was talking about how being able to manage the agents is a skill that's becoming increasingly important, which I think gets to Pingfan's point. It's knowing what questions to ask. Whereas before it was having the ability to create something like this. Now the focus really becomes on who can ask the most interesting questions.
Exactly.
Like, if you run this and you want people to donate, then maybe you want to know the characteristics of those who donate and like what types of clothes do people come for if they also are people who will donate items in the end. But you have to know what the point of your graph is.
Yeah.
And as Ping Fan pointed out, it can create tons of graphs, but they might not tell you anything useful and interesting. Um, but what I do like about what Ping Fan showed too was that Claude recommended several different ways of looking at the data that JP would have to sit and read the data and think more about it to come up with those, whereas the AI can offer suggestions quickly.
Yeah, not that's one of my biggest issues right now. It's not the code, it's that I have to really think about what do I want to look at, and I have a limited amount of time. And that's actually more of what I use AI for is brainstorming. So I would sort of um have it help me brainstorm a little bit better than I am right now. Um
Oh, I see you have a new chart up. Do you want to
yeah,
describe
I'm
your new
going I'm
chart?
going with a waffle chart. Um So this is called a waffle chart if you're looking at it, where it is a way of showing proportions. So I went back to my own slides. This is my class. I always do this because I never remember how I actually do this. So I've got several things I'm right now I'm focused on proportions, right? Because this is mostly a proportions data set. If you look at what this thing is, it's counts of all these different things. And so I've converted it into sort of a long format for plotting, but it's how many are there, what's the count of every type, and then demographics. So at a minimum, we've got demographics and type of clothing. So I can look at that in a lot of different ways. I can look at them individually, right? So here's all the types by faceting, where each subchart is the people. It's really only students. I mean, it's undergrads and grads, and then like very few everyone else. This is, you can see that it's almost entirely undergrad and grad, and then very few. So I'm going to probably just group these
All
into
right, I've
one
got my
category. Hmm. And then I've
Okay,
sorry, I was
got,
about to say I got my first data viz up and running.
oh, okay,
okay, let's jump
go
over
over
to
there.
Eric. Okay, here's
Yeah.
Eric. If people want to jump to Eric's tab. Oh, he went donut. So we have
Yeah,
waffles and donuts. We have a morning
We are,
theme going here.
yeah.
yeah,
Do
So
that with the
breakfast is
donut.
my
That's for my
favorite. So,
class. It is a good one. It's a nice one. Um, yeah. Let's see if I can make some sort of joint visualization between donuts and waffles. Um,
so Eric, did ChatGPT recommend the donut, or did you ask for the donut specifically?
no, I asked for it specifically. I looked at the data set last night and was just trying to think of something cool other than bar charts,
yeah.
just standard data vises. I used a donut chart to some pretty good success last semester, so I just wanted to keep going with it, see if I can make it cool. and better. And not only that, this is also interactive, as you can see. So there's
Okay.
hovering, um, data labels to include what it is. So it's obviously the demographic, how much total items was taken by that demographic, and then what is the percentage of the total stuff that was
Uh,
taken. So it's a lot of information, but we're working there.
yeah, because you could easily add then what percentage donated into the pop-up as well.
Correct. Yeah, I just want to clean this one up first, and then I'll see if I can get anything better.
Yeah, I guess yeah, I'd be interested to see if you ask ChatGPT since Pingfan is asking Claude what types of charts might be. I wonder what if they will recommend something different. Okay, we'll jump over to Nithin now. Oh, and we have a lot of different charts going. So we have some bar, we have a donut, um, Friday phenomenon. Oh, so it did something with the days that it was available to. Oh, nice. Who
Hmm.
visits, their participation.
Hmm.
I think it's
Oh,
doing
this is the
good, but
worst
it
part.
requires little tweaks.
Oh, this is so terrible.
Oh, I like that they added the back to school surge.
Yeah.
Summer break, almost no one donated in June. Small. The New Year refresh.
Oh, it is doing something with time. That was my next thing. I was going to say I need to do something with time now, not just proportionality. So I'm going to start putting some things in here.
You're catching up.
Yeah, I'm going to get there. Uh, so this is data cleaning. Let's just do portions. Okay, so we're going to look at
What
time
is the
now.
giving gap? Oh, oh, that's a cool one. Oh, the heat map was a nice one too.
We may not
Oh,
actually get, um, we'll see. We may not get any of us getting winning charts. I think a winning data viz would take, many more hours, even with or without AI tools, to think of something really creative and polish it up and have like custom fonts and really make it nice. But I am curious to see like what level of exploration, what kind of trends and conclusions can we generate in a relatively short amount of time. I mean, we've been at it for 20 minutes now, barely. Um,
yeah. You
so
want to go
this
till 45 after, and that will be like a half an hour then.
That's a half hour, and half hours, oof, really short. But we could stop at that point just to look at what everyone's got. That way, at least by 11, we will have like kind of seen what's achievable in a half hour. And I think that will be pretty revealing about where we're at with AI today. Like no one on this team here is a total amateur, all right? So everybody knows how to write code. Everybody knows how to use these tools for the most part. So we're looking at it's still a skill, as you were saying earlier, to use these tools. And I
Well, and
think,
Claude released Co-work, I think last week, which is supposed it's like the same thing as Claude Code, but without a CLI interface.
yes, yeah.
I have not tried it. I think you have to be like at the $200 a month plan or something for now to
It's
try it.
actually interesting. You can now the pro users also can use it. So it's actually like it can communicate with all your applications in the laptop without your any interference. It communicates with the MCP protocols, and it's really cool.
Yeah, so I think it's trying to broaden the market where
Yeah.
people being able to, without having to do command line interface stuff, be able to
Hmm.
say, here is a data set, make me a chart, and it just figures it out. Um, and I think that Gemini is working in that way too. What I have found interesting now that Gemini has tools, so like if I'm in my browser taking notes during a meeting, I can click on Gemini and say, add this item to my to-do task and have it due by next Wednesday.
Oh,
And then it just does it. And then I can go back to taking notes. And then if I go to my calendar later, it's there, it's in my Google task list. So it has access to all my Google products. Um, for now, it won't create files or delete files for safety reasons, which I think is probably good, but it will read files out of your Google Drive. So like if you're in a meeting and you want to be like, oh, I don't remember what happened in our September meeting. Can you give me a summary? It will do that while you're still in your Google browser. So having all that connectivity is going to be Google's big advantage over others. But of course, Gemini's been lagging as a model. It hasn't been nearly as good as the other models. Pingfan, do you have anything you want to show us? We have 5 minutes to go.
Oh man, I'm so
Man, okay, the time is
behind.
so
So
short.
behind.
Yeah. Yeah, right now I reached maybe another stop point so that I still have three plots. And so the first plot right now is kind of a monthly trend in clothing items taken, and that's like year-long trend. And you can see that like there were some trends. So in during summertime, so the
Oof.
value, the total items taken is kind of low. And in wintertime, for example, September, February is kind of high. And also these two time are also the time that right after the semester begin. So September, the semester begins in August and also late January. And then so that you see the like February and September is kind of, with higher customers. And then the other one is the total items taken by category. So that you can see tops is like we have the most, and then pants. These two are the most common ones. And with tops being the most, like when you want to donate or take, like when you want to interact with the second-handed clothes shop, the first thing that you can come up in your mind is maybe some tops, maybe like your sweater, your t-shirt, your jacket. And if I
Can
have
you
more
show
time,
us what you told Claude to narrow down from those other charts that
sure.
you had? Just so we can
Yes.
see, like, how did you prompt it to get to this?
Yes. Instead of scrolling up, which is a lot thing to go through, I can just press the up arrow. So I said, good, now let's zoom in for plot one, which is seasonal trends. I like the idea of seasonal trends, but I only want to keep the year-round one because it makes no sense to have cold warm weather for 12 months. This is a very common mistake by AI. Like it doesn't some basic things it won't just miscomprehend. So it used to have three different line charts, cold and warm, and then year-round. But the thing is, if I won't only want to do cold weather, why do I want to do 12 months? Same for warm weather. And then for plot two, it used to distinguish by different like groups of people, which I think is unnecessary. So I tried to merge them. So I said no need to distinguish by groups of people, just show a single bar chart for each item. And then for plot three, I would say the bottom two are kind of unnecessary. So I said, please only keep donation rate by demographic. This one and donation behavior breakdown. And then I further instructed to for plot three is we have a blue bin, no and yes. I said, well, the blue color for the blue bin, red for no, and then green for yes. And where here, like the rightmost part is cut off. I told it to not cut off, but it still makes mistakes. So this is also my common experience with AI. For example, this is a very easy thing that human coders will go through. Here, this yes part is gone. And I tried to tell it, well, expand this plot a little bit so that I can show the full, like the full part. But this is saying that I might need to struggle with it for half an hour to finally get this little thing done. And on the left side is the like donation rate by geographic, because this is the thing that I think is makes most sense. So I have different groups of people: graduate staff, undergraduate, non-affiliated, and then faculty. So this makes some sense. You can see that while the largest group of people is graduate, and then followed by staff. and then so on and so forth. Same for this. So you need to teach AI to scale down and really leave only keep the important part so the humans can understand. Okay, so this is my stopping point right now.
Good.
Mm.
Yeah, I've had this similar experience with using Notebook LM to produce PowerPoint slides, in that it produces them as single images, and then you have to go back and reprompt, like, oh, you cut this word off here or there, which is just seems a lot more painstaking than like normally in a PowerPoint. I would just go in and drag the box over and put it where I want it. Um, because it's doing everything as just a single um, PNG file, you have to reprompt it and recreate it, even just for a very minor change, which can feel a little frustrating. But of course, it does it in a matter of seconds. So
Can
um,
I ask, is it faster to just download it and then manually
it's a
um,
single image file.
revise?
So you would have to have like Photoshop skills to make changes. So it's not a PowerPoint file. So they're not individual objects. It's just one big image.
Right. So both approaches are painful.
Yeah, it depends. So I did it for a presentation last week. It made 10 or 12 slides for me. Um, the revising process took like 10 minutes of reprompting and waiting for it to redo it. Um, but the slides were significantly better. They would have taken me at least 2 hours to make comparable slides because it just had like all kinds of nice icons that went with each of the bullet points that I would have had to go to Google Images and search for free ones and all of that. It just created them all. So I'd say in the end, it still took a quarter of the time it would have taken me to make a similar PowerPoint.
All
It's just a
right.
different set of skills. Okay, so let's go
Should we
back to
stop and do a
JP.
roundup now? Okay, so I'm gonna suggest we all stop coding and and we're gonna go around one by one and see. Well, now see, I can't see what others show, but if you're looking at mine, I think what we should do is walk through what you did, like what was your code and what was your result. So in my code, I I did a lot of cleaning up front. I realized early on that I mean, there's kind of two main things you have to work with. You have counts, right? Like counts and how many there were by type and demographic. I didn't really want to explore this. Did you bring one with you or not today? It looked like a lot of no's, so I just kind of ignored that. I also realized after doing some exploration that the demographics, there's really mostly undergrad and grad and like not much else. So I kind of combined that into an other category. So these are all little small summarized data frames that help me see that. I started looking at proportionality a few different ways. So just simple bar charts to understand, what types of clothing are most common by which group, and viewed that a few different ways. These were just exploratory. Then I decided I wanted to do a waffle as sort of a better version of that. So I went back to my class notes and made this little waffle chart. And um, I was about to reorder this so that this would be sorted, where like tops would be over here, and then pants would be here, and then sweaters. So it'd be reordered based on the total number. But that was my conclusion was tops, pants, and sweaters on my. That's most of the items were those three. And a waffle chart, you read it like this. So one row is 10, so that's 100 items. So you can quickly assess, just by adding these up, like quick estimates, like, okay, so graduate students took about 200 or maybe 150 tops, 80 pants. So waffle charts allow you to get that proportionality, but also make quick assessments of, how many. So that was it. So proportionality, and then the second one was time. You could look at this time element, and I started by, this is where I kind of ended. I ran out of time, but I started looking at this. I realized like there's clearly some pattern about when this thing, maybe it's just when it was open, like maybe it was only open every weekend, because it's a very regular pattern of like nothing's happening during the week, and then you get it one day. So I'm gonna guess this was like a open on Saturdays only kind of thing. I'm not really sure. But then there's weird things like this too. So who knows? But clearly there's a seasonal pattern when there's no students, nobody takes anything.
Okay.
So that's about all I was able to learn in 30 minutes. And I wrote 180 lines of code roughly, and that's where I got. All right, so who's next?
Excellent. Let's jump to Eric next.
Okay, yeah. So for this one again, like I said in the beginning, I tried to just brute force it myself, and was like, why am I doing that? Um, so here's the first bar chart. So one thing I just wanted to initially explore is who's taking the most. I had a good idea, obviously, that it was going to be undergraduates, but what I found most surprising is that it's an overwhelming majority of undergraduates. But the thing that makes it interesting, at least to me, is that over half of the population of GW is graduate students, actually. So there's more graduate students than undergrads, but none of them are actually utilizing that clothing bank. So I thought that was interesting, which then led me down the path of, okay, well, what items are being taken the most? Which I also was able to make a bar chart similar to what Pingfan did. Um, oh, by the way, another thing I think I forgot to mention, all of these are also interactive. Um, I have like a working project in my ChatGPT folder of plots that I make, and I think it knows that I love interactivity. So it started just making all of them interactive. So
That's
both
using
the
Plotly.
yeah, and it uses
Yeah.
Plotly, which was different for me because I've never used Plotly before, but that's just what it went to. I guess it hasn't picked on that I do everything via ggplot normally. So this was interesting, which kind of slowed me down because I wasn't able to analyze the code as thoroughly to be able to pick out some of the bugs. Uh, so I'm gonna have to, drop it back in a chat and be like, this doesn't work. This is my error. Like, what's wrong? And then the last thing that I was doing right before we ran out of time, actually, chat had just generated the code, but I wanted to see who was also. I wanted to do an analysis of which demographic was dropping off the lion's share of donations. Again, presumably it would be undergraduate, but I really wanted to see if the same rate of donations being given by undergraduates matched the rate at which they were taking as well. Um, so yeah, that's where I
Interesting.
was at.
Okay, let's jump over to Nithin, then we'll end with Pingfan. Is that
Yeah, so I got with this big dashboard type of visualization. It makes like six types of visualizations, and I'm trying to focus on the different ones. But yeah, so here you can see that like 83% of the people, all the visits were happening on the Friday. Maybe that could be like a weekly ritual, or it could be something like a market, something. And again, I try to analyze like the seasonal surge at which time the most of the visits are happening, and we can see that when the students are back to the school, you can see the peak number of visits, and the summer shows like a because of the summer break, because of that lowest number of visits. And other than that, the bar chart shows like tops dominate at 909 items. It's like double more than any other category. And pans come with the second 401. If you're dominating, focus on the tops and pans. That's what the students needed most.
I like
very
the
cool?
graduate generosity. That's interesting. So that's exactly what
Mm.
Eric was about to get to,
Yeah,
which
that's what
is
I was getting to.
about half
Mm.
almost are giving but not taking, and then the
Yeah,
undergraduates are taking and not get, well, they're giving
yeah,
too, but it's an interesting way of how it created it where it's like this zero line, and so you can go either way of the
Right,
bar.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
actually interesting because from this graph it says, approximately 42% of graduates that visit are also donating when they only account for approximately 12% of what's taken.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So they're actually giving, it appears that they're giving way more than they're actually taking, which is interesting.
So there's a
Wow.
flow here, maybe from grad to undergrad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
right.
the
And here
undergrads are
you
probably taking a
can,
lot of graduate clothes.
Yeah.
and here the 94% of visitor rate is a loop 5 stars. So that's the universal satisfaction. This program works and students love it and it's proven to be successful. And
Great.
let me give you the numbers. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Let's jump over to you, Pingfan. We have just 5 minutes left. So,
Great. Yeah. So
oh,
this is what I have. I try to merge everything into a like a single file containing four charts. So I'll start from the top left. So I think yeah, yeah, you guys have covered like part of the also like what I want to say. So firstly, taken, which is the blue line, outnumber largely outnumber the donated part. So that I think this matches with the core functionality of the like this secondhand clothing shop. So that it benefits a lot of people, and there's also seasonal effect. So I try to not distinguish by the types of people and just give it a year-long trend by month so that this is kind of a takeaway for the readers. Well, yes, more taken than donation, and there is some seasonal trend, regardless of the people, like the type of the people. And then here, this one doesn't change, so that you can see total items. This is for taken, and this is for donation. Like I finally realized, like these two charts, they don't match. They are different. They are different. Like AI intentionally try to diversify the data types. Like if it creates a chart that is for taken, and then another chart must be donation, something like that. So yeah, and then for donation rate by geometry, it also doesn't change. So that the graduate, like I think it's covered by Eric also, and the graduate takes the majority, like the most donation, and then followed by staff, then followed by undergraduate. And yeah, and then last piece is the donation behavior breakdown. So that red is for no and blue for blue box, the green is for yes. And here I remember in README it says that the blue box make it more efficient, more convenient for students, for people to donate the clothes. But right now it turned out that more people are just walking in to the station, to the shop to do the donation instead of using the blue bin. So there might be consideration of, either make the blue bin more, attractive or more noticeable for people to just donate the money. Sorry, donate the clothes because right now it's working less efficiently as expected. And yeah, so that's the summarization of my plot.
This was very
excellent.
interesting. So I noticed that the two graduate students came up with some form of a dashboard-like final figure, which is not surprising given how much you can cover and how much ground you can cover with an AI tool in 30 minutes. Um, and I think that's like if I were trying to comprehensively understand a bunch of different trends, then yeah, I would want to make multiple different charts and ask a bunch of different questions and answer each one with a separate chart. So as in terms of exploring the data, I think in my opinion, this is overwhelmingly clear that this is the better way to do it. I mean, like the way I was doing it was so slow. I mean, and that is as fast as I can move, and I only got to really two questions, proportionality question and a question about trends over time. Neither of them were polished. Neither of them looked that great. Um, and it would take a ton more work to make them look a lot nicer. In
And you
terms of
type very fast.
yeah, and that's pushing the limit. Like if you were watching my screen, you would have seen I wrote. I don't know. I'm also curious how many lines of code everybody wrote, or what was the final lines of code. Mine were 180. Let's go around. Nathan, what was your final code like at the bottom? What does it say?
I
What
think
is that?
it would be more than 500.
224? Okay. Ping fan, what do you got?
I am 223, but that comes
Okay.
with a lot of cat and
Yeah,
comments.
all those silly things.
Yeah.
And then Eric, what do you
Yeah.
got?
Yeah, mine's at 114, and that's a little generous because I often space a lot so that I can
Okay.
actually see each chunk of code.
So I mean, there's definitely an efficiency gain of exploring. Now, if we want to get to winning a data viz comp, it's much more than any of these charts. I think these are all good figures for showing a trend and learning about a data set to try to inform some, maybe the organizers of this donation project want to learn, what's working, what's not working, then this kind of thing is really helpful. I think that it's super interesting. The whole like graduates and staff are donating a lot, but not taking near as much. And there's clearly like a transfer from people who are further in their careers donating more clothes and to the undergraduates taking more of them, which is just a natural thing. That makes more sense. So I mean, I wouldn't think any of these are necessarily like close to their final form that I would want to submit them. But I think it's pretty clear, like if you want to explore a data set quickly, this is we're well past the phase where just typing it yourself is you should just not be doing that anymore. Like that's just silly, The one caveat is we did not do one of these where it was me with AI tools. Like so does it matter that I can type fast and kind of know other types of charts? Like no one made a waffle chart, for example. Like not no one else made a waffle chart except me. It doesn't mean the waffle chart was better, it just means I know a lot of different types of charts, and I thought a waffle would be an interesting one. And had I had access to an AI tool, I could have said, make a waffle chart for me, and it would have made it really fast, and I could have moved on more quickly. But but it was an interesting little, in 30 minutes, it's a very interesting little experiment here.
Well, and I think that goes back to show again that experience and judgment still plays a large role. Like you know about waffle charts because you played with a lot more data. Um,
I also
yeah.
used bars for time. I mean, actually, I stopped sharing my screen, but I'm going to share mine again. Like, I think it's interesting that everybody went with time. I didn't do any aggregation yet, but yeah, this is not a very good chart yet. I mean, there's more work to be done, but I started with a line chart, and then I saw these big gaps between the points, and I thought that was odd. And so it must be happening on a week. I think it's a weekly thing where it's like they're only open on Fridays or something like that. Um, and so I put bars so I could better see that gap. I was not trying to make a final chart. I was just trying to understand what is the time pattern. And when you make bars, it makes it very easy to see those gaps. So then I was like, oh yeah, there's definitely some kind of a every week, same time kind of event. Um, so I was exploring it a little bit differently because it's a human looking at it. And like I said, I we didn't have the case of me using AI. I might have come up with some very different looking things, um, but I was impressed by what coverage you can get in such a short amount of time. I mean, that's and the other one I wanted to do, which we didn't do, I could potentially do it and have a presentation about this at OSCON is the pure agent based one. So I'm gonna have Manus take this data set and give it the instructions from the competition and just say make a data viz and just have the agent do the whole thing, and see if that's better. I could have done that in real time and then we would have results by now, but I don't have a Manus account that's up yet. Actually, it probably would only take a couple minutes if anybody has. I've already used all of my credits. I'm out of credits.
Oh, I should have
Um,
done that today. I have co-work. I totally forgot.
Let me see. Let me see if I mean we are at the time, but like I'm just curious if I can give it this data set and say this is a data set for I'm gonna give it the README too. Actually, I think I have enough credits. I can only one, no, I can only do one file. It should be able to get it for a data viz competition. Please explore it and come up with a all right, we'll see what it does. I mean, I have a little bit more time. I see there's a Q&A, but I didn't.
Oh,
Oh, I didn't need to answer these yet. I cannot see the screen for chat. What was the proportions library again? I guess, Dan, maybe you were talking about the waffle thing. I'm not sure. Um, no, it's just called waffle, library waffle, or R. So I guess because the new year started, I haven't used these yet. So I am having Manus give it the data set, see what it can come up with. Um, oh, it's doing it in Python, of course. I did not say do this in R, but who cares? It knows Python. It's gonna use Python. That's actually kind of part of the experiment. If you just tell it, please explore it and make some charts. We'll see what it does. It should be pretty quick with the size of this is a pretty small data set and um, not a lot of tasks here to be done. Looks like it's made a visualizing the data file. It's running that file now. Oh, it's made a monthly trends PNG. Can I see it? Yep. Wow, look at this. So it created the same monthly trends figure that
Oh, yeah.
everybody else created, right? So it came
Yes.
up with that one. It loves to do this. They love the AIs
That's
love making
nice.
bar charts and then filling them with color. And it's unnecessary because the length of it is already encoding the value, so you don't need two things to encode the same thing. I would rather use the color to fill something else, like was it an undergrad or a grad or something useful with the color, but they love doing this. Um, I also really prefer to put the value at the end of the bars. That's something I didn't get a chance to do, but I saw that in almost all of yours, the AI ones. They had the value at the ends of the bars. That's a really useful thing. But notice how it's making horizontal bar charts. In my class, I teach this all the time because when you have a lot of categories, um, it used to make them always vertical bars and then rotate the labels. And I hate that. I always just find that really annoying. This is a better way to, I think, show a chart. What happened here? I lost it for a second. So it did make a bunch.
What's that middle top one?
It's not letting me. I'm gonna click it. If I click on it here, it pops up on the side. So that's better. Okay, so it made the same pie chart kind of
Yeah.
thing that Eric made, but he made it as a donut, but similar, using pies for proportions. Um, Pretty simple bar chart. This was what Pingfan had shown. I think about the
Yeah.
donating at the blue bin was not
Mm.
very very common. Um, and then what else am I missing here? These are all the scripts. But this is really lovely that it has all the scripts. I mean, I can always
Yeah.
take this script now,
Uh, there
download
it is,
that, and
just
now
for the heat map.
the heat map. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
the
this
heat
was
map.
day of the
Yeah.
week, Friday. So maybe it was open other days of the week because clearly you could do it, but it's just everyone donated at 1 o'clock on Friday.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some behavioral thing on Friday afternoon, or maybe there was a promotional event where they like would talk
Yeah.
about it. I don't know why it was
That's pretty
always on
nice.
Fridays. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I
Nobody
would be
came up with
interested to see
this.
if it. I would be interested to see if that happens every Friday, or if there was a localized event that caused it to be that high.
Yeah. No, it was pretty consistent in mine that there's like this gap where it's like every
Okay.
Friday. I think it's every Friday, but then there was Tuesdays, like or maybe they opened it up later in the year on other days of the week, but most of the year it was this. We'd have to look at the data for that. And okay, then they made some sustainability impacts. I don't know where they got that from, but maybe there's somewhere in the spreadsheet about this. Like if we look at the front page, there was some information here, so possibly it's in here.
Huh?
But that's a pretty comprehensive thing, and that required no human to do anything. And it created kind of, I don't know why when I click on this, I don't see it. Oh, maybe it's just loading. It's like taking a minute. Yeah, there it is. That required no humans. Like, we didn't do anything. We just said, I gave it the dumbest prompt. Remember the days of prompt engineering where you had to be like, I'll give you a $200 bonus if you do a good job. Like you don't have to do that nonsense anymore. I just said, this is a data set. Please make some charts, and here we are, so pretty impressive. Um, So I think we're moving into a different world now when you're doing exploratory analysis where I like that whole process may just be entirely automated, where any data set you just hand it to some agents and ask
Yeah.
for results back. And if I had said in that instruction, like make sure you include um an exploration, use waffle jars for proportions. If I give it a tiny bit more instruction, it would have given me probably exactly what I wanted. And also the result is entirely reproducible, right? It's all a code script that I can now run and get the same result. So,
Well, thank you everyone
yeah,
for doing it, for volunteering to be in the
yeah,
hot
that was
seat,
cool.
and for letting us record.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording there.
Yeah.
Mhm.